Last September, Katt Williams spotted an opening and took it. On his Instagram stories, he reshared an AI mashup of Puff's mugshot merged with Wesley Snipes' new Jack City look, captioning it, "Diddy about to snitch on everybody." The post instantly went viral. Fans across the internet echoed the same sentiment: if anyone would flip to save himself, it'd be Diddy. But Katt didn't stop at one joke. Think back to his old podcast clips, where he casually mentioned names like Tyler Perry, Ricky Smiley, Steve Harvey, and Ludacris. Back then, it all seemed like petty shade. Yet today, some of those same names along with Jay-Z, Aaron Hall, and Harv Pierre are turning up in the real court documents tied to Diddy's case. Turns out, Katt wasn't just cracking jokes, he was dropping clues. And now, we're about to connect the dots between stand-up comedy and a federal scandal.
Club Shay Shay, yeah. I was trying to do something there that hadn't been done. I thought that I had figured out the algorithm mathematically, and I thought that I could show that. And when I wrote it out to kill the careers of the people I was talking about, right? But it was so vicious that I erased all of the knockout blows and just left the jabs, so that the comic I'm talking about knows that I know your real story. I'm gonna tell this, but you know what else I know. So, yeah, I was...
Do you want to tell any of those stories now?
Well, I'm saying...
I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right, because P. Diddy be wanting the body. All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. T.G. Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
So Katt Williams said it. The lawsuit started coming out right after he said it, and he said all would be exposed. He heavily implied, and this is again an allegation, that Lucien Grange was having some sort of a homosexual relationship with Diddy. So he is the person that controls Diddy, that Lucien Grange was aware of these parties, that Universal Music Group was aware of these parties. Essentially, that Diddy is the thug and the gangster working on behalf of Lucien Grange. They did not know that he was recording them. I mean, when I read through that lawsuit, Rodney made it very clear that he had hidden cameras. And if you are a person like LeBron who says ain't no party like a Diddy party, you got Ashton Kutcher talking about what happens at Diddy parties stays at Diddy parties. And finally you learn via the press that actually Diddy has been collecting evidence on all of you, and you don't know where those tapes are. That will buy your silence for quite some time, because you're hoping that if you keep your head low, you're not going to be revealed as one of these people that was engaged in some of these acts, whether they were heterosexual or homosexual, it doesn't matter. Maybe you're just cheating on your wife and you don't want that to get out into the public. Maybe you were, as Katt Williams described it, in one of the rooms. He said you could just walk around the house. He said this on stage years ago, that you could walk around the house and you would see people engaged in various sex acts. And again, Katt Williams was someone who was dismissed as crazy and dismissed as a drug addict. And it turned out that, or it seems that if these allegations are proven to be true, and I believe they are, then he was telling the truth.
Do you think that like stars and get offered that kind of thing, like to compromise themselves sexually for entertainment?
I was as shocked as anybody about how powerful Harvey Weinstein was at the time that I was meeting with him, and how he could not be told no. You follow what I'm saying?
They'll figure out some way.
Right, so I thought that didn't apply to me because I don't care about nothing but bitches and good business, right? In these scary situations, I don't even leave it up to me. Like, I'm gonna do what the superhero would do in this part of the movie, regardless.
That's a good way to think about things in general.
Yeah.
What would the super...
Katt began with Tyler Perry. On the surface, it just seemed like a comedian throwing shade, cracking jokes about how Perry can't play a man to save his life. But behind the laugh lies a truth most people have never heard. When Perry was crafting his first independent scripts, it was actually Diddy's team who stepped in. They helped finance his early films, organized premieres in Los Angeles and New York, and filled the guest lists with A-listers eager for a sneak peek. None of that ever made the tabloids, but it's all there in the fine print. Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Media's family reunion. Perry may never admit it, but his rise to fame was built, at least in part, on the bad boy blueprint.
That you bought a military base in Alabama. Is that true? A military base?
As starving comedians would do.
Now, I don't know if you're being truthful or not. Did you really buy one?
Yeah, Fort McClellan. Yeah,
What?
because the reason why like my life works in golf and off the golf course is because I follow instruction well, right? So if I see somebody do a good job, I just want to do a good job.
Yeah.
I'm gonna follow the example.
Yeah.
Right? So Tyler Perry got a military base.
That's correct.
Made it into a movie studio and started making movies. Katt Williams.
Bought a military base. Are you making movies?
I'm not wearing dresses. Yeah, making movies.
The point. At what point in Tyler Perry's career was he Samuel L. Jackson or Denzel Washington? Which are the only two black men I can think of that never had a dress on.
Yeah, but I don't think it's about
At one point, it is about that. It is about that because he's the only black man that we already established has $1 billion for making movies. He's the only black man with his own studio. But he's also putting out material where he got a goddamn dress on every year.
because
Every time you turn around, at every iteration of his success, be it the plays that took over and got him popular, be it the shit that he did on TBS, be it the first movies that he did, be it the movies that he does now. So what is his excuse for doing Madea content now?
because there's an audience for it.
There's an audience for it.
There is an
There's an audience for it.
There is
because
Tyler Perry told his male actors they're not allowed to consort with me because I saw you at a Diddy party, Tyler. And you were having a glorious time. I spent a lot of time in Miami and I snuck around Star Island quite a bit. I know Christian isn't lying, but I need him to tell me what happened to my friends. And I don't care how long it's been since I talked to them. They will always be my friends. Always. Tim and Durrett and Lamont Rucker were not the same after they went on camera with Tyler Perry. Christian, I think you can tell me why.
Who else? Ricky Smiley, the comedian who quietly learned the game at Diddy's private Atlanta parties. These weren't your typical open invite events. They were exclusive nights, carefully curated by Puff's inner circle, with every guest pass personally approved. Ricky made it onto that list. From there, he networked his way into radio deals and eventually landed his own hit TV show. Katt once joked that Smiley only shines in a dress, but that punchline carries a sharper edge. It points to something deeper, the idea that Ricky's path to stardom started under the bad boy roof long before he ever grabbed a MIC.
Let Ricky Smiley sit here and you said out that mouth, you stole Friday After Next, the one I was in. I wish all of America fumbled a bit when that happened. He told everybody, it should have been my role. Everybody on the scene. Why do you think no cast member has ever said anything?
He couldn't have played that role like you. I thought he was...
Sir, no one, why no, he was with KD? He beat up Terry Crews? Why nobody know this story? And Hollywood has never heard this in 100 years. He was so egregious, I put in my contract that I won't work with Ricky Smiley again unless he's in a dress. Now, what was Ricky Smiley's next movie? Was it First Sunday? Did he wear a dress in it? You bet he did, it's in my contract. That's why I can't let Ricky Smiley say he was supposed to play Money Mike, because I wrote the words for Money Mike. I put in my contract that I won't work with Ricky Smiley again unless he's in a dress. Now, what was Ricky Smiley's next movie? Was it First Sunday? Did he wear a dress in it? You bet he did, it's in my contract.
Why would you put that in your contract, Katt?
That's where he's a believable actor. Him and Tyler Perry can't play a man to save their life. They play good women, and I believe that the best actor should be in the best role.
But when you reported a long time ago that Jamie, that he mysteriously got sick, mysterious, and they were saying that allegedly was Diddy. But how do you, but when you reported that back then, months ago, did you say, what was that in your reporting? Yeah, they were saying that Diddy, because Diddy and Jamie Foxx were good friends. And they broke up, they stopped being friends. And they just, and we're not doing though. They said. Who was they? They that wait. They that wait on the Lord. All right, y'all, we're gonna wrap up the house.
I Googled you to see what are the questions that people are wanting to know. Is Ricky Smiley married?
No.
Have you ever been married?
I was married.
Oh,
I was married for 12 years.
When?
Man, I was married back
Did I know you?
Back in the 90s. I think we probably had met and had been around each other, but my ex-wife, we were still close. She's a flight attendant for Delta.
Oh, okay.
And we was married, we was young, and I was married for 12 years.
Wow.
I have beautiful, she's beautiful.
And y'all broke up after 12 years because...
Honey View, I started doing Honey View and the streets started hitting.
Oh!
Who else? Ricky Smiley, the comedian who quietly learned the game at Diddy's private Atlanta parties. These weren't your typical open invite events. They were exclusive nights, carefully curated by Puff's Inner Circle, with every guest pass personally approved. Ricky made it onto that list. From there, he networked his way into radio deals and eventually landed his own hit TV show. Katt once joked that Smiley only shines in a dress, but that punchline carries a sharper edge. It points to something deeper, the idea that Ricky's path to stardom started under the bad boy roof long before he ever grabbed a MIC.
Comedy Jam 25. It's good to see so many funny people together in one room, all wondering the same thing. Is Katt Williams gonna show up?
Shit, I'm nervous as hell right now.
Oh, he's right there.
There he is.
I didn't know he was right there. I would not have said that if I had seen him. I'm not used to quiet, introspective Katt Williams.
No. Well, let me ask you this. When have you ever seen this many heavy hitters all together at the same time? In the same room. Yeah.
Right. All right, Jen is with me now to talk about another story making headlines today.
Yeah, so this one is actually sparked by these pictures. That's 49-year-old P. Diddy with his hand on his girlfriend's belly. Now that is 22-year-old Lori Harvey. They're in Cabo. She's, of course, talk show host Steve Harvey's stepdaughter. People are talking about maybe she could be pregnant. You know, he's rubbing her belly a little bit, but...
She's put up some Instagrams, I think, that show some clues. Sushi, right? Sushi, a bad thing for pregnancy.
It could go either way, but then also she posted this picture of green juice, which, you know, why would you want a flatter tummy if you really can't avoid it because you're carrying a child?
Ooh, this is conflicting evidence. Okay. Lori was once actually linked to Diddy's son, Justin.
Okay.
Okay, so they were together and then engaged a couple years ago to a Dutch soccer player. She told Carissa Thompson about how he popped the question.
We were in Malibu. I remember the
Were you
time. It was
freaking out?
11:30. I thought it was a joke, and then he went in his pocket, and I started shaking.
They split up later on that year. Lori and Sean were actually spotted with her dad, Steve, on a boat in Italy earlier on this summer.
That's all. Well, then that's it. He's given the blessing.
It even reaches inside the church walls. T.D. Jakes once preached at a gospel concert sponsored by Diddy's own team, an event that looked less like a service and more like a record release. The crowd filled platinum-tier seats behind velvet ropes, with flashing cameras and press walls straight out of a music launch. But behind the hymns and sermons sat music execs, influencers, and insiders handpicked by Bad Boy's PR machine. Katt mentioned Jakes in passing, naming him among the big deviant figures soon to be exposed. It sounded odd at first until you realize how Diddy's empire has blurred the lines between pop culture and faith, all under one dark, twisted umbrella.
So yeah, T.D. Jakes is on that list.
On that list.
And, you know, Katt Williams, I don't know if he's a Christian or not. I don't think he is. His mouth would say maybe he's maybe has faith, but he's bearing fruits of repentance. But that podcast got, well over millions and millions of views because he just blasted the industry. And basically the whole thing is your career's here. if we give you money and you join in on this debauchery, you join in on this sodomy, you join in on this pedophilia, you join in on these rituals, your career will go from here to here. And that's actually been seen if you look at a lot of different careers, including Taylor Swift's. She actually started rubbing shoulders with P. Diddy a long time ago, and then all of a sudden her career changed.
We also know that T.D. Jakes is allegedly also a power bottom. And he's a much older man. And they say he's very enthusiastic in his endeavors. What happens when he pops something loose? You know what I'm saying?
It's funny because they're mentioning sex workers, but they're not mentioning women. They're mentioning men as sex workers.
Yeah.
Like is that a thing where like there's a website? I mean, what? It's just wild to hear like you mentioned the
You
normal.
never heard of Grindr?
I personally have not. That is what.
Why don't nobody ever talk about the fact that T.D. Jakes has an account allegedly on Grindr?
Kevin Hart gets his turn too as what Katt calls an industry plant. According to Katt, Hart's films from Ride Along to Night School didn't move forward without first passing through Diddy's circle. A quick look at the credits tells the story. Puff's venture arm pops up everywhere, sometimes on soundtracks, sometimes in executive producer slots. Even Hart's stand-up specials landed on platforms tied to Bad Boys distribution deals. Those connections aren't random. They paint a clear picture. Kevin Hart's climb to the top ran parallel to Diddy's empire. And in exchange for what? Only Katt seems to know the full answer.
He said he turned down $50 million 4 times.
No, he didn't.
To protect his integrity and his virgin hole.
No, he didn't. He did that. He did that to say that Kevin Hart took $50 million to unvirgin his hole.
Can you explain a little bit?
No, I just told you what happened with that.
So you don't believe Katt when he says that he turned down $50 million 4
No,
times?
I believe that was a punch at what he did, what Kevin Hart did for that movie Get Hard. He showed y'all what he did. He sucked Will Ferrell's to get hard.
Oh.
Now he's high. Now he's acting all hard. Every picture he just short. He wasn't ready. All that. It's the same thing.
I said it, and this sums it up well. Like you don't entertain the circus, you watch it, right? And when a lion comes out and rides the bike, you don't think about it too hard. You just go, okay, that's crazy. The lion's riding a bike, and then you go home and enjoy the rest of your day. I don't feed into the stuff at all. At the end of the day, it's all entertainment to a certain degree. So you just hope that people can be smart enough and have a tremendous amount of logic to just go and possibly do research or fact check. And if they do, then great. If they don't, then kudos to that as well. I just don't have the time for it. There's too much going on.
In my opinion, one of the ones that affects me the most is Justin Bieber. Do you have the Kevin Hart one? Which is odd, Pat, because he gets caught saying that he would wake up next to him and then he changes it and says we would fight off over the Frosted Flakes. Even Kevin Hart is uncomfortable because you're admitting that you were sleeping next to a freaking child. And it's like, I'm tired of hearing all these stories and people just laugh about it. We giggle like, this is it right here.
That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, pause.
Look,
like,
pause.
I mean, back in the days when he was like 10 and I was
10 years
a little
old.
bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the Frosted
Wake up
Flakes.
Taylor
because
Usher.
He used to always get up early. Now he's one of the richest songs in the world. And
What the fuck did Puff just say? Nobody's putting acknowledge this for me. Puff just said we used to wrestle over the Frosted Flakes, and we're streaming live.
And then there's Ludacris, the name Katt ties to one of his biggest claims yet, the Illuminati connection. According to Katt, only an organization that powerful could hand Ludacris a $200 million deal. It sounds part myth, part comedy. But the real-world ties tell their own story that they've collaborated on tracks, shared festival stages, and appeared together at Biggie tribute shows, moments that reveal a partnership built on years of mutual trust. Katt dresses it up in conspiracy talk, but you don't need secret symbols to see what's really there, a long-standing alliance hidden in plain sight.
No, so we were both invited to an Illuminati thing. One of us had to cut off all their hair, and couldn't do the sideburn thing no more with the points. And the next person they said was going to get $200 million because they were going to pay him $10 million a movie to do 20 movies. And that's how the conversation happened. One of those persons turned out to be Ludacris, and the other person turned out to be Katt Williams. I didn't get it. I'm not mad about it.
How much money they give? 200?
Sir, Fast and Furious is on what number right
10.
now?
Did you start to worry any about your own safety and stuff?
Well, what it was that I was attempting to do was impossible. So before I do this interview, there is no Illuminati. It's just a joke. It's just something that crazy people talk about. There's no such thing as our side and God's side. None of that is even real. I gotta come and make it real. So that's why when I said that, nobody came out and went, that's not true, I'm on God's side. If part of the ritual is wearing a dress, then we should be able to look through entertainment and see all of these people being made to wear a dress.
Yeah, you don't see the dog catcher show up every other year.
Like, it's not a thing.
In a nice skirt, or you don't see an electrician.
Right, so
come up in a blouse every.
But how does all of this connect to Diddy and his ongoing legal battle? To understand that, we need to rewind to March 2024 when federal agents raided Sean Diddy Combs' homes in Los Angeles and Miami. They seized electronics, hard drives, and confidential documents as part of an escalating sex trafficking investigation. By September, the case had exploded. A grand jury indicted Diddy on charges of racketeering, sex trafficking, and unlawful transport. Then came December and the court filings that shocked even the most hardened reporters. Those documents named several high-profile figures, including Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z, accusing him and Combs of drugging and assaulting a 13-year-old girl after the 2000 MTV VMAs.
It's like this. Obviously, you're not making any kind of a dynamic entry. This isn't a hostage situation, right? Where that's not what's happening here. However, they did know that there would be weapons there, armed security, those kinds of things. That's why you saw those warrants being served by, for the most part, a tactical SWAT team. Simply, that is procedure to keep everyone safe. A lot of people were frustrated when they saw the video that came out of the warrant, that his home was, in, I guess, disarray. But again, and I had said this before, my gut said they were looking for digital evidence, which is in that indictment. There's a lot of mentions to digital evidence. And that's why they tore up couch cushions. That's why they made holes in walls. They were looking for flash drives, tiny devices where these things were stored. And so all of that is done methodically. It's all cataloged. And in a case like this, where you're not necessarily rushing, to put out a fire or something like that, it was all done in a very methodical way. You typically go through room by room to catalog all of that up.
The federal indictment against Sean Diddy Combs has now been unsealed and the details are staggering. He faces charges of racketeering and transportation for the purpose of prostitution, among
Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. In addition to the violence, the indictment alleges that Combs threatened and coerced victims to get them to participate in the freak-offs. He used the embarrassing and sensitive recordings he made of the freak-offs as collateral against the victims.
The indictment also lays out disturbing details. It claims that the 54-year-old maintained control over his victims through manipulation and coercion, supplying them with drugs, dangling financial support or housing, and threatening to take it away at any moment. Prosecutors say he promised career opportunities to keep them compliant, tracked their movements, and even dictated how they should look. All of it paints a picture of power used not to build stars but to break people.
But Jay-Z's been accused of raping a 13-year-old girl in 2000, allegedly along with Sean Diddy Combs. Our US correspondent Martha Kellner has the latest from Los Angeles.
This civil suit was originally filed back in October against Sean Combs, better known as P. Diddy. It has now been amended to also include allegations against Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter. In this civil suit, a woman says that when she was a 13-year-old girl back in the year 2000, that she attended an after party for the MTV Video Music Awards, during which she says she was raped by Jay-Z and P. Diddy. She says that Jay-Z removed her clothes, pinned her down and raped her while P. Diddy and an unnamed female celebrity watched on. She says she was then raped by P. Diddy as Jay-Z and this female celebrity watched on once.
The case takes an even darker turn with new allegations involving Diddy's own son, Justin Combs. According to investigators, Justin was accused of helping organize so-called freak-off parties, some allegedly involving underage girls. During the federal raid, agents reportedly handcuffed him for questioning, though no formal charges were filed against him. Still, his name appearing in the investigation adds another explosive layer to the already tangled web surrounding the Combs family.
Justin Combs, you've been indicted with your dad. Now, ain't that something, God? Ain't that something how LeBron, right? And his son will be the first father-son to play a game in the NBA? And P. Diddy and his son will be the first father and son to get indicted and go to federal prison for messing with little boys. Ain't that about something? The apple don't fall too far from the tree, y'all, man. And I tell you all the time, man, you have to watch what you do around your kids because they're watching everything. And in his case, man, he watched what his dad did and his dad allowed him to do these things with him. But hey, man, he was named in that indictment yesterday with those 120 people. You dig what I'm saying? 25 of them being minors. But that's kind of crazy that a younger man would love a minor. But hey, man, I hope they was using condoms.
About 30 different law enforcement vehicles at least. There are 3 Bearcats on scene here. This just all unfolded, Sandra, I would say less than 10 minutes ago. We got here even before the crime scene tape came up. So we're just down the hill. If you look up this street where Tony is right now to the right, you'll see one of those Bearcats and law enforcement. And on the other side of those bushes, basically, is that home that is registered to Bad Boy Films, which is part...
Former Bad Boy artist Kenna Harper also emerges as a key witness describing first-hand violence against Diddy's ex, Cassie Ventura. The shock didn't stop there. Even industry titans like Interscope co-founder Jimmy Iovine and Universal Music CEO Lucian Grange were briefly named in connection with witness influence or knowledge of certain events. Though Grange's name has since been cleared, the parallels are hard to ignore. When Katt Williams sat down to expose every celebrity tied to Diddy, his list eerily mirrored the one buried in those court filings. Coincidence? Not when it comes to Puff Daddy.
New revelations show that after Don Richard filed her lawsuit against Diddy, he allegedly bombarded his former bandmate Kalena Harper with over 50 calls in one day and reached out a total of 128 times over 4 days. Prosecutors say that these calls were attempts to sway her testimony, part of a broader pattern of trying to gaslight and manipulate witnesses. Can you blame Kalena for distancing herself from the situation? She came under fire for posting that Richard's claims did not align with her experience, and some people criticized her for what it seemed like defending Diddy. Given the pressure, it is understandable that she would want to clarify her stance, especially with Diddy reportedly trying to reach out so persistently. Apologize to this woman she's a victim to.
Well, let's do it then now.
They gonna do? Put kids in jail for hitting a super soaker? What the they gonna do?
Oh, that'd be horrible.
Y'all be some pissy motherfuckers. Go that if you want to. Fuck the picnic.
All right, Jack, one got to go when all their works.
Let me see that again.
So we have a Jimmy.
Leon Cohen.
Oh shit! I gotta say who they are.
Abner Bromowitz.
Jimmy Iovine.
Leon Cohen.
Clive Davis. Barry Gordy.
Leon Cohen.
Now this is all his work. YouTube music.
Fuck that Jew bitch.
So you say he Jay-Z. All that is. Damn.
These aren't just rumors or internet conspiracy theories, they are backed by court filings, federal indictments, and sworn statements. As the cases move toward trial in May 2025, every name on that list reveals just how far and how deep Sean Diddy Combs' empire truly reaches. Whether these celebrities knew exactly what they were signing up for, or simply ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time, one thing is undeniable. When Katt Williams claims he's exposing every celebrity tied to Diddy's circle, he's not speaking off the cuff. He's echoing the very same legal documents that outline this sprawling, star-studded web of alleged misconduct.
Hanson, would you please start a podcast? The community would freak out everyone knows you speak the truth. I do not enjoy listening to me talk. So if I did a podcast, it would have to okay, the answer is yes. Fine, I'll do the podcast and I'm working on it. All right, there you go, Tim.
If you're as shocked by these revelations as we are, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps the channel. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Which name surprised you the most? And who do you think will speak out next? We want to hear what you think. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next chapter in this unfolding story. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.